Okay, so I wanted to make a Stantler Evolution. So I started off by going on Bulbapedia and looking at the dex entries for Stantler. And then I looked at some other Pokemon like Cernius and Arceus, because I felt like they had kind of similar vibes. And I took the sprite of Stantler and tried to like base my drawing off of that. And also I added Mudstale because I feel like Mudstale is kind of has the build that I'm thinking of, like more bulky than Stantler, because Stantler is like pretty slim. And all the Pokédex entries were about, basically were about the horns of Stantler. So I thought it would be cool to try to make like an incredible antler from like multiple of its antlers. So every antler goes into another one, and yeah, so you have like 5 sets. And I was a bit unsure of how I was gonna do it, because if I had them the way I positioned them now, they were gonna crash into each other. So I had to rotate it a bit and think with it. So I didn't spend that much time on the body, at least not the beginning, because I feel like since all the Pokédex entries is about how Antler has, or Stantler has horns that are mysterious. They can distort space or airflow, and the reason why Stantler is like kind of rare is because poachers are hunting it. So I thought like, okay, all the main focus should be on the antlers. So I ended up taking one of the antlers from an artwork and just making that like the base, because the antlers I drew, I weren't too happy with it, so I just tried to make it from uh, from an actual Stantler antler. So then I made that shape, and then I just flipped it so I had one from one for each side. And also about the body, I wanted to make it like very bulky in the front to like carry, cause like an antler is pretty heavy, and then when you have like basically 5 of them, it would be really heavy. So I made this massive head and massive shoulders and front legs, and then I thought maybe the hind legs could be like smaller to like show how big the front is, and I also gave it like delts and uh, trap muscles. And then it has like a dissatisfied look because it's like angry that people are poaching it or its friends. And then I drew around the antlers again to like this. The line I'm drawing now is like a line that will be there, like the cartoony black line, like show that it's a cartoon kind of. Because if you want to draw realistic, you might not want this line, because then it makes the image look much flatter and like a cartoon immediately. But I thought it would fit the style better. Also noticed, so now I can remove the blue, and then the antlers are like kind of good on their own. And I ended up drawing around the body again, because the first time I did it, I wasn't sure where I was going, so it became very squiggly. So now I can make like a smoother shape. Yeah, and then I just erased all the squiggly lines. Guess I wanted to keep the like muscle markers, because I didn't want to draw those again, and also the face. And then I took the colors from the Ken Sugimori art Stantler, because I really dig how he does the lighting and shading. Um, yeah, and then I just put in the main colors, and then I think I'll start trying to shade. Yeah, and I didn't see the spots. I never noticed the spots on him before, so I thought maybe I could incorporate those to like keep it even more similar. Uh, And I was thinking about how like buff you can make him without looking too humanoid. But I felt like I found like a nice middle ground. So he still has the white belly, he still has the white spots and the white tail. And then for shading and lighting, I tried first to just draw like spots. But what happens then was like it looked very rubbery. So now I instead try to make different layers that have like one with opacity very low and then higher and higher, and then I delete on the darker so that you can see the lighter parts through it. And I think that was a really cool way to shade, and also much easier than trying to shade like every little angle with different colors. Because now it will be a natural gradient of the same color from like the brown with less opacity and the brown later with like black on top, and then the black has less opacity to make some parts darker. And I was thinking of like a light source from the front and above, so like the hind legs and tail will be very dark, and then like he's just like barely picking himself out of the forest. Yeah, so I'm just experimenting with like 3 layers of dark and 3 layers of light, and try to make them somewhat consistent in where like the shade would fall. Okay, so Stantler had 73 health, so I gave him more health and more attack. I gave him basically more of everything, but I was like unsure if I was gonna give him a lot of defense or what I was gonna do. So finally I thought it would be cool that he had like, because he had like also somewhat similar stats to Mudstale. Mudstale has more attack and defense, so I put those down, and I also like to keep the 2 here of the 62 the defense onto the 92, because I feel like it's neat to like keep I don't know, like a reference to the previous Pokemon. And yeah, I just amped all his stats a bit, and then made his special defense a lot bigger, because first I thought of like giving him a lot of special attack and physical attack, but that just means that it's like really good for nothing, because now at least he can work somewhat of like a special defensive wall, though he has a bit low base HP. And then he has the same abilities as his previous evolution, but I swapped Frisk with Misty Surge, because I thought it would be kind of cool if he like came out of the forest and is like Misty. And also the name Misty Moose is what I ended up with, and it's just Mystic and Moose, basically. And also you can argue that it's Misty, like Misty Surge. And then I just gave him the number of Stantler and an A, because I felt like that would be tidy. And instead of big horn Pokemon, he's the bigger horn Pokemon. And the Pokédex entry is Mr. Moose Stantler distorts space constantly, making this Pokemon incredibly hard to find. It has developed incredible strength to carry its heavy headpiece, yeah. That's like my justification for why he had to be so bulky, yeah. So that is the evolution of Stantler as I have made him.